I'm going to discuss about the topic is CSS attributes of list and table, and it is the topic of the subject web designing cases 052, and this topic is the part of unit 3, and the heading of unit 3 is CSS, that is cascading style sheet. So in this video, first of all, I will going to discuss the CSS attributes of the list. List basically it is OL and UL list of the HTML. So I'm going to discuss CSS properties of these two lists. Now there are 5 CSS properties which can be used for the controlling the list. The first one is list style type, and this is used to control the shape and appearance of the marker. So like if you are using the UL list, so we have this is the, or you can say it is a marker, it is a disk, like a disk, and you are writing some sentence here, for example, mango. So this is a kind of UL list. So to control this marker, we are using the list style type. Then we will discuss about the list style position. This is the attribute which is used to define, or you can say align the content with the help of the marker, that I will discuss later in this video. And next property is list style image. So here we are using the disk circle like this way. So if you want to display the image instead of predefine the marker, then we are using this list style image CSS property. Next property is list style. Basically, we can club all these CSS property into one CSS property is list style. So that therefore it is called shorthand of these properties. So we will see how to use the list style. Just write all your requirement in one sentence instead of writing your requirement in different attributes. So first one is list style type property. So the name of the CSS property is list style type, and it has a value. It can have none value, that is no marker will display, and it has default value is disk. So by default the disk will be displayed here like this way. Okay, and it can take the value of circle, so it can display the circle like this way, and it can display the square as a marker. So we have you can say 3 different types are mentioned. One is this, second is circle, and third one is square. Now this is the example of displaying the UL list. So you can see to use the CSS property in the UL HTML tag, we are using the style attribute. Within the style attribute, we are using CSS properties list style type. So this style is basically to define the list of CSS attribute and accordingly its value. So value of this property is circle. It is basically a value that I recently discussed. It can take any value like this, circle and square. So it is a value. Then put the semicolon in double quotes. And these are the list of the subjects, the compiler and web designing that I want to display in unordered list. UL meaning is unordered list. So when you execute this program, it will display like this way. So disk will be there. It will display the, then it will display compiler, then it will display web designing. So this is the unordered list. We have given the type, basically it is a circle, so it will display like a circle. So here the value is given circle, so it will display like circle. And if you given the value of square, so same list will be displayed in a square way, like square is the marker. So you can see with the help of this list property, we can change this marker symbol, and with the help of this square property we are changing this marker symbol. So with the help of list style type we can define the different marker for your listing. Now there are basically two type of list. One is UL. UL is for the unordered list. Then second type is OL in HTML is ordered list. Unordered list meaning we are using a disk, or we are using square, or we are using square. We are using circle or square. OL meaning is order list. So in the order list we are using numbers 1, 2, 3 like this way. Now numbering can be in any different way. It can be ABCD, capital ABCD, or it can be Roman letters. So which type of number you want to display in your listing, that for that purpose we are using list style type property, and these are the value for order list. Remember, these value is only for the order list, not for the unordered list. Previously that I discussed, which is for unordered list. Right now this is for the order list. So if you are taking list style type property equal to decimal, so it will display the value 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like this wise. And if you are taking the value is decimal leading 0, so it will display the value like 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, 0, 4, 0, 5. If you are using the value lower alpha, so alphabets will be displayed as a listing purpose, A, B, C, D like this way. If you are using the value upper alpha, then the alphabets display in capital letters. And we can use the Roman letter also for the listing. So if you are using lower Roman, then it will display the Roman letters in lowercase. If you are using upper Roman, then it will display uppercase Roman letters in uppercase. So these are the we can use the numbers, we can use the alphabets, as well as we can use the Roman letters for our listing. Now you can use also Greek symbols, lower Greek symbols. So it will display like alpha, beta, like this way. It will display the listing will be displayed in Greek symbols. So these are the different values by which we can display our listing. Now it is an example for order list. So we are using OL here for the order list. Then we have style. Then we are using list style type is the property, and we have given the value. So in this case, it will display 1, 2, and 3, and it will give the value the compiler. Next one is web designing. Now if you are using lower alpha, so it will display the value like A, B, and C. And if you are using lower Roman, so it will display the list in Roman letters in lowercase. So you can see with the help of list style type CSS attribute, we can control our displaying the marker, how the marker will display. Basically it is the marker of the listing. So you can display the marker in numbers, as well as in alphabets, as well as in Roman letters. So far I discussed for the list style type for the UL, and as well as I discussed the list style type for the OL. OL is for the order list. Next property in the list tag is list style position. So it will define the content that will display in the list with respect to the marker. So basically it can take two values, inside as well as outside. In case of inside, bullet points, these are the bullet points. Bullet points will be inside the list item. As it is the part of the list item, it will be part of the text and push the text at the start. So if you write something here, and this is the end of the line, so the next line will just start just below the bullet, or you can say the marker of the list. Outside means that bullet points will be outside the list item. The start of each line of a list item will be aligned vertically. This is the default case. In case suppose we have a bullet and you start writing a text here, So the next text will be after the marker. So next text will be just aligned with the first line. So it is for the outside and it is for the inside. See an example. Now you can see the example of outside here. Now again see this is a marker and a line has been started. The next line is just starting of the first line. So it is vertically aligned. Now in case of inside, you can see it is a marker. And the starting of the first line, starting of the second line is aligned with the marker. It is aligned with the marker. So it is the outside. It is the basically it is a inside position and this one is the outside position. So outside position is the default position. So by default, it will display in this way in the form of outside position. Inside position, you need to give the value inside in CSS property list style position. Now it is an example of list style position. Now here you can see we have UL style is going to write the CSS and list style type that I discussed this recently is the circle and the name of new attribute is list style position and it is outside. So maths, chemistry, physics will display in the position of outside. Similarly, we have defined again UL and list style type is square and list style position is inside. In this case, maths, chemistry, physics will display in the position of inside that we recently discussed. So it is up to you how will you define the inside and outside position, and very important to understand that this list style position is also applicable in OL list. This is the OL list with the list style position outside and this is the OL list with list style position is inside. Next, by default, we are displaying either the bullets, circle or square, or you are displaying the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 like this way. You can display the alphabets also as a listing, but if you want to display an image as a marker, suppose if you want to display AKG symbol here like this way as a marker, then we can use different attribute. The name of the attribute is list style image. So instead of displaying a default marker, you can display your marker also. You need to define the image of that marker. So you just write the name of the file like image1.gif and just use the URL function and give the value in list style image. Then instead of displaying the default marker, it will display the image that you have defined in image1.gif. Next is list style type. So if you are not interested to display any marker, then the best way is give the value none in list style type and no marker will be displayed, only the content will display. Next, I discuss about list style is the shorthand of these above all these properties. So we have the UL here and we have list style. Now you can give the value of all three properties. These three properties: list style type, position, and image. So we have given the list style type here is square. List style position is inside. Just give one space here. Just give one space. Okay, so the first value is for the list style type, second value is for the list style position, and the third value is for the list style image. So when we are using the shorthand property, we need to put some order for the property values. So the first value will be for the list style type, second value will be for list style position, and third value will be for list style image. So this is a very good way to giving all the values in a one line, that is with the help of list style property. So till now I discussed the CSS properties of the list, and important properties are list style type, list style position, and list style image. Next, I am going to discuss about the CSS property of table. Now, CSS property of table is border collapse. So this property sets whether the table borders should be collapsed into a single border or not, that I am going to discuss. Second property is border spacing. So it gives the space between the table cells. Third property is caption site. So the table caption you can display at the top level, at the bottom of the table, that you can set here. Fourth property is empty cell. Whether empty cell will be surrounded by the borders or not, that we can specify in empty cells. You want to display the empty cell or not, that you can control with the help of empty cell property. And similarly, we can give all these four property in a one line with the help of table layout. So one by one going to discuss about each property. The first one is border collapse. So this property can have two values. One is collapse, second is separate. So before going with the example, let's see the outcome. Now we can say it is a table and with three cells, the first, second, third. Now here you can see this border is collapsed, meaning is it looks like a single border for the second cell as well as for the third cell. Similarly, it is a single border for the first cell as well as for the second cell. So here you can see the border of each cell is collapsed. Second example is the border of each cell will be separate. So you can see there is a space here, very small space here. So there is a space between the cell 1, cell 2 and cell 3. Similarly, we have the space between cell 1 and cell 2 also. So it is just an example to show you. So we have a small space here. So here the borders are not collapsed. Borders are separate. So the way you want to present to audience your table, you can display with the help of each cell with the separate border, or you can display your table with the collapsed border. Now see an example how you will use it. So we are using the table tag because we are going to use this property in the table, and we have created two class 1 and 2. Dot symbol is represent we are going to create the class, and this class will work only in the table. And we have created one more class A and B for TD, just to make the differentiation of the border. So border style will be dotted, here the border style will be solid, just to recognize that there is a separation between the second cell and third cell. So therefore we are using the dotted and solid here. So there are four classes. The first class is 1 and 2, and it is controlling the collapse and separate. And second class is A and B. Basically, it is defining the way the border will display. Now here is the table, and we are using the class 1 here, and we are using the caption. And important to understand is we are using class A. Now in the first table we are using class 1, meaning whatever the cell will display in this table in the format of collapse. Second, we are using the class 2. So whatever the table will display, the cell will be in the separate format. Okay. See, internally we have set the class A and B to display the border in dotted as well as in solid line. So it is a simple program to exercise the property of border collapse and with the value of collapse in separate. This is the example that I already discussed. Here we can see the border has been collapsed. We are looking at a single border. Here there are separate borders are there. Next is border spacing. So you can specify the distance between separate adjacent cells. That is, there is some space between the cells. So it can take either one value or it can take two value. If we are giving one value, it will apply to both vertical and horizontal borders. If you are taking two value, in which case the first refer to the horizontal spacing and second refer to the vertical spacing. Now see an example. Again, we had created table tag and one class of the name is 1, and we are using a border collapse as we have discussed in the just recently. So border collapse, the value will be separate and border spacing will be 10 pixel. So we are in this example, our emphasis is on the property of border spacing. Next, we have the 2 is the second class, and border collapse equal to separate and border spacing property. We are giving 2 value 10 pixel and 50 pixel. It is for the horizontal space and it is for the vertical space. It is for the horizontal. It is for the vertical spacing. Now we have one value, so it is for both horizontal and vertical spacing. So we have defined the classes here. Next job is to use these classes in the table. So we have a table 1, class 1. So it will apply this in this table, border equal to 1. So there is a space of 10 pixels. Second, we are going to apply the class 2. Class 2, this will be applied this table. We have the separation of horizontal space of 10 pixel and vertical space of 50 pixel in this cell. Now here you can see the example. We have separate, we have a border spacing of 10 pixel here. So this is the 10 pixel. This is also 10 pixel. This is also 10 pixel. And this one is also 10 pixel. So here you can see we have given only one value, so it will apply in both vertical as well as horizontal spacing. Next, we have given the value of 10 pixel for the horizontal and 50 pixel for the vertical. It is automatic. The first one will be for the horizontal spacing and second will be for the vertical spacing. So here this is the 50 pixel and this one is for the 10 pixel. It is for 10 pixel. This is also 10 pixel. This is 50 pixel. This is 50 pixel. And this one is also 10 pixel and this one is also 10 pixel. So here you can see we have given the two value. The first value is for the 10 pixel and second value is for the vertical spacing for the 50 pixel. Next, you can display the caption in a different way. So there is a two important value is top. So you can display the caption at the top of the table or you can display the caption at the bottom of the table. And there are two other values. Basically, these inherit and initial is applicable in many CSS property. Initial meaning is it will go for the default value. Inherit meaning is it will take the value of the parent tag. So in this video lecture, our main concentration is to understand what is the caption side and how it will display on the top and bottom of the table. Now this is the example. Here you can see we have created two ID because we are using the hash here, example 1 and example 2, and name of the properties caption side. Here we have given the value is bottom. Second, we have given the value of top. And now we are using here in the table. Here you can see table ID equal to example 1 and the caption is table customers. So this caption, that is table customer, will be displayed bottom of the table and the table is defined here. These are values of the table. Now we have defined the second table. Second table in the example equal to 2. In this case, the caption, that is this caption, will display at the top of the table and this is the table is defined. Now see the example. So we can see it is a caption. So with the setting of the property of caption side equal to bottom, this is the setting, caption side equal to bottom, the caption will display below the table. Now when we set the caption side equal to top, the caption will display top of the table, that is table 1.1 customers, and it is a default. Next, empty cell property can take two important values, show and hide, whether you want to show the empty cell or not. Initial and inherit meaning is it will set the property to its default value. Inherit meaning is this will take the property from the parent element. So this is the example of showing the empty cell CSS property. If you are giving the height, then empty cell will not display. If you want to show the empty cell, then use the value show for the empty cell property. And we are using here, this is the class where we are using the class ex1 example 1, and this is the table where we are using the class name is ex2. In case of ex1, empty cell will not display. This is the empty cell. This is the empty cell because nothing in the cell. Here we have the empty cell. This is the empty cell because nothing in the contain. So whether you want to display the empty cell or not, in the first case the empty cell will not display. In the second cell the empty cell will be displayed. So here you can see here in the first case empty cell is not showing. So in this second case empty cell is showing. Okay, so you can control the display of empty cell with the help of this property empty cell hide, empty cell show. Next very important property is table layout. So whenever we have a big table, it will take time to load in the web browser because it will take time to load from the server to the client machine. So there are two approaches are important whenever we have a long table because it will take time to display on the client browser. So we can give the table layout auto and fix. So by default it is a auto. In that case the column width will be set by the content of the cell. So by this unbreakable content the column width will be set. And in case of fix, so you can fix the layout, and the layout algorithm will work in a two different way. This is the first way and the second way. In the first way, the table and column widths are set by the widths table and column by the number of widths are present on the first row. So here the, or you can say width of the table will be set by the first row. So whatever the first row will be, the width is given accordingly, the other width will be set and content will be adjusted accordingly. So main benefit of this table layout is equal to fix is that the table renders, that is it will load much faster than the layout of the automatic. So if you are using the table layout of automatic, it will take long time. If you fix the width, then browser know very well and will automatically download the content with the width that you have set, and the content will be adjusted accordingly. So if you have a long table, it is better to have table layout equal to fix because the table will be loaded very fast. And if you have a small table, it will not matter too much about loading of the table, and you can go with the table layout equal to auto. So see an example. Here we are setting with the class A table layout equal to auto, and we are setting the class B table layout equal to fix, and we have set the width 250 pixel. So when we set the width of 250 pixel, its meaning is that the width of each cell will be of 250 pixels. Whatever the content, if content is beyond the 250 pixel, it will be adjusted accordingly in the table. So we have a table and we are using the class A, and we are displaying the names of engineering college. So here the width will be automatically adjusted by the browser, and it may take long time to download the table from the server and display at the client side. When we fix the table width, that is B, that is 250 pixels here. In that case, it will take the small time to download from the server because the width is known to the browser, and it will set all three cells of 250 pixels and accordingly the content will be adjusted. It will display the first cell, display the second cell accordingly, because browser knows each and everything, and table width is fixed. So this table will be loaded very fast than the first table in which we have table layout equal to R2. So it is a very important property if you are working in the table in designing of the web page and table is a very long. So better to fix the table width. This is an example. In this case, we have a auto table layout. Here you can see the size of the cell, that is width of the cell, is adjusted according to the content. So if the content is long, then width of the cell will be long. And in second case, we are fixed the layout that is of 250 pixels. In that case, the content will be adjusted within the same width. It is of 250 pixels. So we have decided what will be the width of a cell. Accordingly, the content will be adjusted. In this case, it will take fast loading because the table width has been fixed. So table layout is a very good property when you are designing a web page, and you must take care. The table must be loaded very fast in client machine if the table is very long, so that the client is not frustrated and able to see the content. So far, I discussed about two important property. I have discussed about CSS property for the two important tags. One is your lists and second is for the table. Hope you understand this video and it will add your learning. Thank you very much.